The shadow is the part of you that you hide, deny, or reject. It lives deep inside your unconscious. You don't see it clearly, but it controls many of your feelings and actions. Carl Jung said, "The shadow is the part of us we suppress and deny. Ignoring it creates confusion and inner conflict. It causes pain in your relationships. From childhood, you learn to hide parts of yourself. Maybe anger, jealousy, or sadness. You were taught these feelings were wrong or bad, so you pushed them deep down. This is the start of your shadow. It grows stronger when denied. Imagine a girl named Emma. She always tried to be the perfect daughter. She smiled when upset. She didn't show anger. She wanted her parents' approval, but inside she felt trapped. Her true feelings were buried. When she became an adult, she found it hard to be honest in relationships. She pushed away partners who sensed her hidden pain. Emma didn't know her shadow was blocking connection. Your shadow hides your fears and insecurities. It makes you act in ways you don't understand. You might blame others for your pain, but it's really your shadow playing out. It can make you push people away or pull them too close. You repeat the same mistakes without knowing why. This hidden part influences your emotions. It causes jealousy when you feel abandoned. It fuels anger when you feel controlled. It sparks fear when you feel vulnerable. Your shadow is like a shadow on a wall. You see its shape but not the source. Until you bring it to light, it will keep controlling your life. Many don't realize how much energy the shadow uses. It creates tension inside you. You feel restless or upset for no clear reason. You lose peace without knowing why. This tension affects how you treat others. It creates barriers between you and those you love. When you ignore your shadow, you give it power. It grows stronger and louder. It controls your actions without you knowing. You may feel like a victim of fate, but actually, you are being led by your unconscious shadow. Emma's story shows us a truth. Ignoring shadow parts only makes pain worse. She learned to face her anger and sadness. She accepted these feelings were part of her. She stopped blaming herself for having them. Slowly, her relationships healed. She connected more honestly with others. She found freedom in owning her whole self. You might also feel this way. Like something inside you blocks true closeness. It might be fear, shame, or hidden pain. That is your shadow asking for attention. It wants to be known, not ignored or feared. To stop being controlled by the shadow, you must look inward honestly. Notice your triggers, those moments when you react strongly. Ask yourself what hidden feeling is behind that reaction. Is it fear? Is it hurt? Is it anger? The shadow is not your enemy. It is a part of your wholeness. You cannot grow fully without it. It carries valuable messages. Messages about your needs and wounds. Ignoring the shadow only causes more pain. It makes relationships confusing and painful. You push away the very people who want to support you, or you cling too tightly out of fear. Both come from not facing your inner shadow. Bringing the shadow into the light is the first step to healing. It takes courage to face your darkest parts, but it frees you from unconscious control. You become the master of your emotions. You stop repeating destructive patterns. Emma's journey is a reminder. True connection begins with self-acceptance. When you embrace your shadow, you open the door to deeper love. You stop running from yourself. You start living with honesty and courage. This is the work of awakening. To become aware of the hidden parts inside you. To stop letting them sabotage your happiness. To bring light to the darkness. Only then can you build relationships that are real, healing, and whole. You learn to love yourself fully, and others can love you in return. The shadow is part of the path, not a problem to be fixed, but a part to be known and integrated. When you stop denying it, you begin to see clearly. This clarity changes everything. You gain control over your life. You break free from unconscious fate. You write your own story. This is the hidden origin of why you keep repeating painful patterns. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will guide your life. You will call it fate. But now you can choose to see, to listen, to heal. And in healing your shadow, you heal your relationships. You heal yourself. When your shadow sabotages your relationships, it is often unconscious. You don't realize you are doing it. The shadow holds feelings and impulses that you reject or deny about yourself. These parts influence your behavior. They cause you to act in ways that push people away, even if you want closeness. Imagine a man named Jack. He fears rejection deeply, but he hides this fear from himself. Instead, he reacts with anger when his partner seeks space. He calls her distant and cold. But really, his shadow is protecting him from feeling vulnerable. This pushes his partner further away, creating the exact outcome he fears. Your shadow can make you overly defensive, reactive, or controlling. It can cause jealousy, suspicion, or withdrawal. These reactions seem automatic, but they come from hidden wounds. You may have learned these patterns in childhood to protect yourself from pain. When you don't recognize your shadow, you blame others for your pain. You think, they don't understand me, or they hurt me on purpose. But often, it is your shadow, making small problems feel like big threats. Your shadow magnifies fear and insecurity. For example, Lisa constantly worries that her boyfriend will leave her. She checks his messages, questions his friends, and becomes jealous easily. This drives him away. She doesn't realize her shadow is projecting past abandonment fears. She repeats this pattern in every relationship. This cycle causes suffering and confusion. You want love and connection, but your shadow creates barriers. It makes you say or do things that alienate others. You feel stuck, not knowing why. Overthinking is often a shadow effect. Your mind spins scenarios based on fears and old wounds. It creates anxiety, which feeds your shadow further. You replay painful moments, imagining worst-case outcomes. This keeps you trapped. The shadow also impacts boundaries. You may struggle to say no or set limits. You fear rejection if you show your true needs, so you either overgive, losing yourself, or withdraw suddenly, pushing people away. Discipline and self-awareness is needed to confront your shadow. It requires courage to look honestly at your flaws and emotional triggers. It means accepting parts of yourself you might not like. Only then can you start to change patterns. Sarah's story shows this well. She had a habit of ending relationships before partners could leave her. She feared abandonment so much, she sabotaged love. Through therapy, she faced her shadow fears. She learned to sit with discomfort without pushing people away. Her relationships improved. She found peace in vulnerability. Your shadow wants healing, not judgment. It's a signal that something inside you needs attention and care. Ignoring it only strengthens its control. To break free, practice self-reflection daily. Notice when you feel triggered. Ask yourself what shadow part is speaking through your emotions. Name your fears. Give yourself permission to feel without acting out. This process takes time and patience. You will stumble and repeat old habits. That's normal. Healing is gradual. In relationships, share your journey gently. Be honest about your fears and triggers. Invite understanding, not blame. This creates space for growth and connection. Your shadow sabotages relationships because it is unseen and unaccepted. When you bring it into light, you reduce its power. You can respond thoughtfully, not react unconsciously. This is true freedom. You stop pushing others away and start building trust. You learn to love more fully, starting with yourself. The shadow is not a curse. It is a hidden part of your humanity. Facing it is part of becoming whole. When you embrace your shadow, you reclaim your power. You stop repeating painful cycles. You create relationships based on truth, not fear. This is the path to healing, growth, and true connection. Your shadow not only sabotages relationships, but also hides parts of yourself you refuse to see. This creates an inner conflict between who you are and who you want to be. You might act in ways that contradict your values, causing guilt and confusion. This split drains your energy and damages intimacy. Think of Mark. He wants to be kind and open, but when criticized, he shuts down completely. This confuses his partner, who feels rejected. Mark's shadow hides his fear of being vulnerable and judged. When we ignore these shadow parts, we blame others for our pain. We don't see our own role in relationship struggles. This creates a cycle of misunderstanding and hurt. The shadow often thrives in silence. It speaks through passive aggression, coldness, or sudden withdrawal. These behaviors push people away, even if we crave connection. Many people don't realize they carry these unconscious parts. They wonder why relationships fail without looking inward. Anxiety and overthinking fuel the shadow's power. You obsess over what others think, question every word and action. This makes you anxious, and your shadow reacts fiercely. Emily always worries. Her friends don't really like her. She overthinks their messages, looking for hidden meanings. This makes her act distant, which confuses and frustrates others. Discipline and self-observation helps you notice these patterns. Journaling your feelings or pausing before reacting creates space to understand yourself. Setting healthy boundaries is a key practice. The shadow often resists boundaries, fearing loss or rejection. But boundaries protect your true self. When you assert your needs, you reclaim control over your emotional world. This reduces shadow-driven reactions. Case study: Anna always said yes to please her boyfriend. She hid her true feelings to avoid conflict. This caused resentment and eventual breakup. Through therapy, Anna learned to honor her feelings, set boundaries, and express herself authentically. Her new relationships became healthier and happier. Shadow work is challenging. It requires honesty, patience, and self-compassion. You must be willing to face uncomfortable truths about yourself. This process frees you from unconscious patterns that harm relationships. Understanding your shadow helps you communicate clearly. You stop reacting impulsively and start responding thoughtfully. This deepens intimacy, building trust and safety. When you integrate your shadow, you become whole. You no longer push people away because of hidden fears. You engage fully, with authenticity and courage. This transforms your relationships, making them a source of growth and joy, instead of pain and confusion. You learn to love yourself and others more deeply, breaking free from old cycles. The shadow is not your enemy. It is a part of your journey towards self-awareness and true connection. Embracing it opens the door to healing and freedom. The more you avoid your shadow, the louder it becomes. It whispers fears, shame, and anger you refuse to face. When ignored, These feelings explode at the worst moments. You push people away, sometimes without knowing why. Imagine Sarah. She loves deeply, but her past hurts make her suspicious. She reacts harshly to small disagreements. Her partner feels hurt and confused. Sarah's shadow holds her old wounds, fears of abandonment, and mistrust. Ignoring these parts keeps her stuck in a cycle of conflict. Every argument feels like proof that love is unsafe. Your shadow often protects you. It shields you from pain by creating distance, but this distance also isolates you. This is the paradox. Your shadow both protects and destroys. The first step is to notice your triggers. What situations make you feel defensive or angry? These are clues to your shadow's presence. Overthinking can worsen this. You analyze every word, second-guess every action, building walls around your heart. This makes genuine connection impossible. Discipline is needed to face this pain. Not the discipline to suppress feelings, but the courage to observe them without judgment. Case study: Jason always felt his friends didn't value him. He withdrew silently, waiting for them to leave. Therapy helped him recognize this fear came from childhood neglect. By naming his shadow, he learned to communicate openly instead of retreating. His friendships improved greatly. Boundaries help too. They allow you to say no without guilt or fear. This is how you protect your authentic self. The shadow fears rejection, so it sabotages before you get hurt. By becoming aware, you stop its power. You choose how to react instead of reacting blindly. This leads to healthier relationships where you feel safe to be yourself. Shadow work is never easy. It asks you to meet your darkest parts and love them anyway. But this is the path to true freedom. When you accept your whole self, including the shadow, you stop pushing love away. You invite connection, built on honesty and courage. This healing transforms your life. You are no longer controlled by unconscious fears. You become the master of your own emotional world. This is the gift of embracing your shadow. The shadow is a part of you that you rarely see, but it influences your actions deeply. It holds your fears, your shame, your anger, and the parts you deny. Because these feelings are painful, you hide them from yourself. You push them deep down, thinking they will disappear. But they don't. They live in your unconscious, guiding your behavior in subtle, destructive ways. When you push these feelings away, they come back stronger. You feel unexplained anger, jealousy, or distrust. These emotions confuse you. You wonder why you sabotage your relationships without meaning to. This is your shadow speaking. Imagine Lisa, a woman who loves deeply, but fears vulnerability. She grew up in a family where emotions were ignored or punished. As a result, Lisa learned to hide her true feelings. When her partner tries to get close, she reacts with anger or withdrawal. She doesn't realize this is her shadow, protecting her from being hurt again. This shadow creates a pattern. Lisa pushes love away to avoid pain, even though she desires connection. You may also have patterns where you push people away or build walls that keep you lonely. These walls are built by your shadow's fears. Overthinking can fuel this cycle. You analyze every interaction, searching for hidden threats. You imagine the worst and prepare your defenses. But these defenses are just your shadow's way of trying to protect you. Discipline is essential here. Not to suppress your feelings, but to face them. It takes courage to look into your shadow, to sit with discomfort, and to be honest with yourself. A case to consider. Mark always felt anger when his friends canceled plans. He thought they didn't care. But therapy revealed his shadow held fear of rejection from early experiences where he felt abandoned. Recognizing this, Mark began communicating openly instead of reacting with anger. Boundaries are vital. They protect your energy and allow you to be authentic. Without boundaries, your shadow acts out to keep you safe. Accepting your shadow means accepting your whole self. Not just the parts you like, but the dark, uncomfortable ones too. This acceptance frees you from unconscious sabotage. When you embrace your shadow, you stop pushing people away. You invite real connection, based on honesty and trust. This journey is not easy. It requires patience, self-compassion, and persistence, but the reward is a life lived authentically, with meaningful relationships and emotional freedom. Your shadow, once feared, becomes a source of power. You become whole. You become free.